been a while, but What a K-Drama is back for a very special half-year episodes.
Woohoo! Excitement!
So, Ilse, tell us, what are we doing today?
So, today we're taking a look at our favorite K dramas and movies from the first half of 2025.
Yes.
And there's been quite a few
And
already, so
it's been a lot already.
yeah.
It's not quite a...
I looked at our list and I was like, damn!
The only thing I've done is watch K-dramas and movies at this point. I just sit on my sofa and then I take any moment, like I'm eating, watching a K-drama. Am I taking a bath? I'm watching a K-drama.
I've had moments where I'm like walking around my apartment with my laptop in my hand
Yeah.
and just like keeping an eye out there and then just doing other stuff there.
That too, cooking, watching a
Oh, for
K-drama.
sure. Yeah.
Which honestly, props to us because we're
Yeah, I
multitasking.
was
We
just
have
gonna
to read
say
those subs.
multitasking queens.
Absolutely. So I would say we have quite a few actually to go through, and I apologize in advance for my heavy fangirly for some of them because some of them just, oh, I love them so much.
Nice.
So I would say let's dive in and let's go first through dramas maybe, and then move on to movies.
Yes.
Just keep consistency.
Hmm.
Okay, so starting off, I want to start with one drama that marked many of us in different ways at the beginning of this year. Okay, so let's talk about When Life Gives You Tangerines.
Hmm.
I love this drama so much. Love it, love it, love it so much. And I have actually a couple of fun things to say about it because whenever this drama was airing, the last four episodes, I wasn't here. I was actually traveling, and when I was in Korea meeting with my friends, and then when I told them the name, they were like, "That's not the name," and I was like, "That's my name. That's the name in Netflix." You know.
That's the only name we got. Yeah.
Exactly, because I didn't recognize the drama, and I found that super funny. I was like, "What are you talking about?" We had this discussion, and luckily, my friend, she's actually from Jeju, where this one is based on,
Hmm.
and the title in Korean is actually in Jeju dialect. That's what she said,
Ah,
and it's something about
interesting.
"you've done well." She translated something like "you've done well" or "good job" or something like
Hmm.
that. Wikipedia says as the literal meaning, "Thank you for your hard work." That's what Wikipedia says.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this drama and why I love it so
Hmm.
much. Okay. So this drama is a romance slice of life drama written by Im San Chung and directed by Kim Woo Sok. So who is in this drama? Big names. So we have IU playing Eson, and we have Pa Bugum, love that guy, playing Wang Shik. Uh, they both are born in Jeju and meet there in the mid 50s, I think, or in the 50s in South Korea. So let's start. This drama goes through two generations, okay? Actually, if you count the mom, I would say through three generations, okay? We see an Eson, a young one, and the mom. She was part of like oh my goodness, I completely forgot the name of these Hanyos. She is a Hanyo, and she honestly she works hard. And Eson, it's a completely literal girl. She likes like to read. She's into like a literature and stuff.
Hmm.
She likes books and all of that. She wants to do the best. She wants to break all the sort of family issues they've had with poverty and so on. So she really tries, but back then the system, the opportunities weren't there. The mom, even though she worked hard, sometimes the social stigmas around their class, if we call it that way back
Yeah.
then, were a bit much. So yeah, it's we go through this generation. Then we have one chick, a completely devoted friend when they were young. As a teenager, he was so in love with her.
Mm.
It was just he was like, it doesn't matter, I will help her. Or she didn't want to sell food, they had like these cabbages selling
Hmm.
bits, and then he will help her to sell the cabbages. As a teenager, he was a green flag, okay? As an adult, he's a green forest.
I love it when men are so positive and obsessed with the female lead.
Yes,
Ah, cute.
honestly, love, 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 love. uh, even though poverty is really breathing on their neck in the
Mhm.
case of Essen, she really tries her best. She never gives up. She wants to become a poet. She tries to express her feelings. Wanshik is there being diligent, supporting her. He's like, yes, girl, you got it. You will be a literary girl. Well, that sounds like a weird, but a writer. He meant by
Yeah.
that, like a writer, a poet. And he really respects her through since they were very young, and he throughout his full life. It was like his first love and last love. Okay,
Mm.
so One Chic, absolute green forest throughout this full show. Beautiful, beautiful love story. They go through so many things together. They navigate major challenges in life. They go through poverty, illness, loss of a child. They are superhuman, extremely beautifully uh, written characters. And honestly, I cried with them so many times because there were moments where they both were so young.
Mm.
Eson couldn't continue her school because she decided to run away to find, I don't know, to become a poet in Busan, and she was
Mm.
like a teenager, teenager stuff. But because she ran away with Wonshik, they believed that they had eloped together. But it was more on the
Oh
fact
my
that she wanted to,
goodness.
to run away from Jeju. And then she was kicked out of school,
Ah,
so she couldn't even finish
mm.
high school when she wanted. So all of that, and he supports her through all of that. So she finishes also her education. He decides to become a sailor, what's his name, a fisherman. He decides to become a fisherman just to support her,
Mhm.
and we see them through all of the goods and bads in this drama, and it is such a beautiful relationship.
Mm.
Okay, also heartbreaking at times.
Mm.
Now when we see these two, honestly, as a couple and as a full marriage, they have set such a high standard for their children. Then now we have the second generation. Okay, so the second generation, we have Yang Gumyong, also played by IU, which it was an interesting thing to see, to be honest.
So she plays mother and daughter.
Correct,
Very
correct.
interesting. Yes.
But the cast is spot on, like adult IU
Uh-huh.
or a song. Facially, she does have the structure of like honestly, I think the cast was super spot on.
Yeah.
I
Because
really like
adult
how they
Esang
cast.
is played by a different actress. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, because it would be a bit weird. It would be
I
like
mean,
twins.
you can do a lot nowadays with makeup, but
That is very true. That is very true. No, but it's played by two different characters as she grows into her 50s, and the third generation comes, the second generation, the next generation
Mhm.
comes in. They change actress, and the casting is actually quite good. I really like the cast. So in the next generation, we have Young Young, played by she is the eldest daughter of Esong Wonshik. She kind of carries the dreams of her parents
Mm.
somehow. She carries as being like the firstborn. She wants to do the best. She wants to make it in life. She goes to Seoul. She goes to uni. The mama, the dad, Eson, and Wanshik make everything so she's able to achieve all of her ambitions. And you see all of this, how they really work hard, how they try, how he goes, like Wanshik goes and fish like almost every day, just one day off. Honestly, they work super hard to give them the life
Mhm.
they couldn't have.
Yeah.
So it's such a beautiful thing they do. And of course, she has really high standards without leaving aside that she is also a young woman and she can have tantrums. And she has also the same issues, but she also have high standards coming from her parents.
Mm.
And she doesn't take any sort of bad stuff from anyone, and that reflects also in her relationships. When she meets her first love, the mother of her first love was very focused on her only being kind of the first girlfriend, but kind of like not a real thing. Whereas they were fully in love and ready to
Mhm.
be committed to each other. But the burden and the expectations of the mother of the guy were really, really high. And I think that the breaking point for Gumyong is when the mother-in-law kind of belittles her mother and her father because they are from a different social class, because they have some like a humble roots and so
Mhm.
on.
Yeah.
And that's where she's like, I can't do this. and she tells him, the boyfriend, I will make you choose. I am taking off. I am not doing this. I am not doing this. You have to choose. You have to choose. I won't allow you to choose. And then the boy was like, yeah, but you can't make me choose between you and my mother. And then she was like, my father did it, you know.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
So he really stood there for her, and she did all he could so they could, be together, love each other, and so on. So you can see her standards in her relationships, and it's such a, honestly, I love, love, love to see it, because she keeps that. She's like, I have my values, I have my
Mm.
character, and I will not go for anything less than what I've seen from my parents. And
That's so beautiful. My
yes,
God.
it's so, so beautiful. And honestly, I just loved her character development as well. The next generation, she's a strong woman. She has like a strong beliefs. And you see how the little acts of kindness that Esun had while growing up really had a mark on her children.
Hmm.
And it's honestly super heartwarming and so, so beautiful. Then we have the brother. That is, his name is Yang Eun played by Kan Yusuk. He is like one chic young, absolutely a love guy. He loves loving, but not in a bad way. In a way that he's a loser. Okay, so when he finds the love of his life, which honestly is super funny how they meet and how the girl is like, but I do want you. But the girl that he dates, he wants him because the mom of the girl saw Essence and Wanshik relationship while growing up. And
Ah,
then the mom said to the little girl at one point, you need to find a man like Wanshik, someone that loves you that hard. And she fell in love with Wanshik's and Essence son.
happenstance. Amazing. Yeah.
Standards.
Mm.
So yeah, so he inherited all the I will give you anything and everything from the father.
Uh,
He's goofy, he's silly, he's so naive, he's so so naive, but also a bit of a green flag if you remove. He's a bit of a prat and he throws some tantrums sometimes, but it comes from, I think, the inexperience and also the fact that he feels that her sister got more opportunities because she was the firstborn child.
mhm.
But I think it comes more from the fact that she felt the burden of making her parents' dreams reality. So you have like these family
Mm.
dynamics, all very natural, all very wholesome, all very, if I say also raw. It's such a beautiful display of family relationships, of like true feelings that you might relate to them at some levels too. So this drama, honestly, I fell in love, and I love, love, love the characters so so much. And Pabogum, boy, you did such a wonderful job with One Chick. I love it. And then the other generations, I use love interest as Gyeomyeong. Oh my goodness, I love. There is so many viral videos about this act of services and love, and it's such a beautiful drama that I cannot recommend it enough. It was, for me, it's my new Reply 1988.
Wow.
It's that hard. I love it so so much.
That's
The
amazing.
rewatch, the rewatching quality up there, really
Endless.
high,
Yeah.
100%.
How lovely.
Yes. So now that I heavily fangirl over this
Mhm.
drama, tell me, which one was one of your dramas you watched this year?
All right. So it took me ages to start because I wasn't mentally ready. So
Hmm.
if you've ever heard of Weak Hero Class, then you know that the talent is just amazing. But
Yes.
Weak Hero Class 1 aired, I think it was 2 years ago. And
Yes.
this year, in April, they released the second season, which is when I finally got my act together and,
That
just,
took a while though.
yeah, I know, but they're very busy and, you know,
Fair enough.
yeah. And they have like all the original cast back. So insane. So let's dive in a little bit more. So we hear
Okay.
class one talks about this kid, Yun Hyun, played by Park Ji Hoon, who, just wants to keep his head down, get amazing grades, get into uni, and just, be done with school. But of course, because he's very much a loner,
Yeah.
he also seems like an easy victim to be bullied.
Okay.
However, Shion takes no shit. He's like, you come to me, that's the end.
So it's got a backbone.
Yeah.
We like it.
And like, he honestly, pencils and like markers and pens they're very dangerous in the hands of Yeon Shion. They're crazy. Anyways, in the first season, you see him make two friends, which ends in like a tragedy, catastrophe, tears.
No. Okay.
Literally, it was so gut wrenching. I don't want to share too much of the plot because I do think it's nice to, first see like the friendship develop without any
Okay.
of the context. But for the second season, I can do that. So in the second season, he has moved schools because of everything that happened in season one.
Okay.
And here, of course, there are bullies in that school as well. However, they're unionized. There's literally a bullies union.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's like divided in like the separate schools and like the gang leaders. It's wild. And Ilchin has the unlucky bone that he, becomes the victim again of said bully.
Oh no.
Um, he meets new friends as well, which he didn't think was going to happen again because of everything that happened in the first season. And
Mhm.
it's Park Ji Hoon is literally an insanely talented actor. He can act with his eyes alone, and
Yeah.
that takes skill.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
anyways, it's only 8 episodes, second season. It
Short and sweet.
has, I'm sorry,
It's short and sweet.
short and
Not
it
sweet,
ends
but
on a
short.
sweet note. No, it ends on a sweet note. You're right. Yeah,
Okay.
short
Okay.
and sweet.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. So we basically see him, move schools. He has some trouble with his parents. It's a very difficult relationship as well. It's all this is based on a webtoon, by the way, and the webtoon is way ahead of the drama. So if you need to
A
serve your
conclusion.
craving or your questions, definitely go back to the webtoon. But what I wanted to share about this drama as well is I really enjoyed how the characters are written because you would think like, oh, they're all teenage boys, they're all the same,
Yeah.
but that's
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
much not the case. And the like differences in characters and like how you see them attempt to bond is very like cute and awkward and silly sometimes. But it's they did a really good job with the casting as well. Not
Yeah.
just
Okay.
Park Ji Hoon, but like the other actors like Ryun, Choi Min Jung, Lee Min Jae, Benara. So we have all these like very talented actors, some at the start of their careers. So I'm very curious to see where their career is gonna take. Um, there are a lot of fight scenes, so if you're not into fight scenes, I don't necessarily know if this is the drama for you, but do give it a chance because the storylines are beautiful and gut wrenching, and it's just so. It's one of those dramas where I was thinking about it a lot afterwards.
Okay.
So it definitely leaves an impact. And I mean, it's 8 episodes, it's 2 days at most. So
And if you are being watcher one day from the morning till night,
yeah, I mean, for
just
sure.
don't leave your house. Just don't leave the house. You make it. You make it.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm very excited if to see if there's a next season. Probably there will be because this was picked up by Netflix. So I
It was also very, very popular.
yes. So fingers crossed for next season.
Mm-hmm.
And now not with 2 years in between, because I don't
We'll see
have
about
that
that.
patience. So,
Yes.
yeah.
But I think actually talking about seasons, we have like Yumi Cell's last season coming soon. I think
Yeah,
I saw
that
another or
is
something.
wild. I haven't thought about that drama in like ages. So,
Well, it's been ages to be honest.
yeah. When did the last
Might have been 2022, I think. So it's been a while.
wow. But I think in this new season she's gonna end up with her forever husband,
I think so too.
right? So
I read the webtoon as you mentioned. I wanted a closure. So I did read the webtoon. I needed it.
yeah.
I really needed it.
Mm,
Okay.
yeah.
So let's move on to the next drama I've watched. And this one is a drama that I thought it was a movie. And I think we had this conversation
Yeah.
before. No. So let's talk about Mellow Movie.
Mm.
So we have two big names in this one. So we have Chewshik. You know him. We all know him. He took completely took off in with Parasite, and since then he's just been in so many dramas that were
Mm.
like high profile dramas,
He chooses his dramas and movies
so
really
well.
interestingly.
And the thing is that he's so diverse with his characters. He can be an absolute sweetheart, an absolute psychopath, and he kills it at both. I've seen him in both, you know. So insane, insane, so much talent. And we also have another actress that her range is absolutely insane, Park Bo Young. And I've seen her. The dramas she's selecting lately have been
Top
honestly
tier.
incredible,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely incredible. I think that her previous one about where she was a nurse and she had depression. Don't remember the name right now.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it marked me in so many ways. I cried with her so much in that drama.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, let's talk about Mellow Movie. So this one is a romantic comedy. I would lean more onto the sad romantic comedy, written by Inaun and directed by Oh Chung Hwang. And yeah, it stars Wushik, Buyong. We also have two parallel characters, Lee Chung Young and Yeon Soni. Those are the actors. So, what is this drama about? So, this one it's a story about young love and people with heavy, heavy childhood trauma. Okay, that's about it, and they're trying to heal in their life.
Mm.
But if I was to describe this drama in a nutshell, trauma, healing, finding each other, you know, and a lot of patience as well. So we have Ko Gyun, played by Woo-shik. He is a movie critic. He loves movies, and movies have been a big part of his personality, of his as he's growing up as a person as well. He's been in this movie vibe since he
Mm-hmm.
was very young. I think he lived over actually these movie renting places, you know, before with the
Oh my
VHS
God.
or DVDs.
So,
Yeah, so he
oh,
lived like on top of one of those places. I think before were called Blockbusters, but I don't know what's the name.
yeah,
Yeah,
like a movie
you know what I
rental
mean.
place.
Movie rental places,
Mm.
correct. So he lives there as a child, and as an adult, he becomes an extra. He works as an extra to get a bit of like cash in it. He loves movies. He loves those movies, and then his goal in life is to watch all the movies that have been made in the world, which is insane if you ask me. But
Good luck.
go on, boy. Then we have our girl King Movie, played by Pa Bouillon, and then she is her father was a movie director, if I'm not wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and she doesn't really like movies that much because she felt like as a child, movies or the concept of movies took so much time, or became like her father's obsession that he
Ah.
basically casted aside
Mm.
her and her mom. So we have those two parallels. Okay, so out of spite, she begins to work in the movie industry. Okay, so, yes, which
Love
is
the
super funny.
motivation.
Honestly, yes. So she just starts working here, and but she does like it. I think she eventually becomes a successful producer.
Mm-hmm.
She is like very quiet, very independent. The type of like shy girls, but she's also quite outspoken when she works on the set. When she meets actually Kugyum, uh, they're completely opposites. She's sort of like the person, the diligent one that goes, works in her movie, does whatever she needs to do. I think she was working as a production assistant, and then she moves. Okay, and then we have Kugyam that when he started working as an extra in the production she was working, he's like, let's all be friends. So he will bug the director and talk to him, talk with the actors, and sometimes even entering the shot when he wasn't meant to enter the shot. But that personality just kept his
It's
name alive
like
in the
introvert
industry,
versus extrovert.
literally.
Yeah.
But polar opposites. And then meanwhile, we have the second couple. Well, they're not really a couple, but the second leads,
Mhm.
which we have like Hong Kyung played by In Jung Young, and he thinks that he's a genius because he's quite a good composer, but he's still unknown. And then we have his ex-girlfriend Song Yua, played by Jung So Ni, and she works as a screenwriter. So you get me now how these four people are related. Okay,
Mm.
so Kugyam is best friends with Siyun and Yua. Before they were Yua and Singhun were a couple. They break up. They end in like quite bad terms as well. But he's still friends with the two of them. Movie enters the picture, and then she wants to produce and to direct a movie Yua has written, and Yua wants Shiyun to write the music score for the movie. So we have all of these pieces coming
Connections.
along together for a single project. Okay, so this story it's a lot about trauma and healing, and I want to talk about the relationship Kuyam had with his brother Koyung, which is played by one of my favorite actors, Kim Ye Wook. I love that man
Mm.
since I've seen him in, I think it was Coffee Prince. He's not only stunning,
Mm.
he's such a good actor. Okay, such a good actor. Also, he's so beautiful. He's so, so beautiful. Yeah, so their story was like it really hit me, okay, because we have Koyam, which grew up to be like this fan of movies, and eventually in the drama you see how his brother Koyung sheltered him after the parents pass, and we have Koyung as a teenager stepping in
Mhm.
and becoming the parent he didn't want to be.
Ah.
Okay, so the dynamics super wholesome, but the elder brother had a lot of his shoulders, and on top of that he heavily struggled with mental health,
Mm.
and all of that was hidden under the facade of like I need to protect my brother needs me. But you see, as Kugyam stars grows as a man, Kugyam kind of lets go of it. He gets into an accident. In the drama, was never really clear if it was on purpose or an accident, and then he doesn't care anymore. And then there is like this specific part in the drama where they're both having a conversation, and Kuyon tells Kugyom, like he tells him like sometimes people are just tired of living. So yeah, we have these two brothers and their relationship. We also see how Kugyom realizes all what his brother has done to for him. So we see that overall, honestly, it kind of I was like, oof, that is tough. Okay, and then we have movie Kugyom's relationship where eventually Kugyam's brother passes because he was ill actually, and they try to help each other. Movie has also a lot of trauma in here. Kugyam also has a lot in him after his brother passes, so they're both heal and grow together, but
Mm.
they don't push it. They're just there. So for me, this drama was about a small act of services that made them such a strong couple for me. So I honestly I recommend it. It's not an easy. Sometimes it drags a bit, but it's such a beautiful story that is being told. Very human, very very soft. It's just very heartwarming, and I recommend it. Okay, so now tell me what is your next drama?
My next drama is a special one
Okay.
because I had been meaning to watch this again for ages. Maybe I should stop procrastinating watching series because it seems to be a trend. I finally watched The Queen Who Crowns.
Oh
And
yes.
it was a ride. Oh my God. So this is 12 episodes long, was written by Lee Young-mi and directed by Kim Sang-ho. And this is a period drama, and it follows Queen Wonyoung, who is an actual person
Okay.
in the history of Korea, but they obviously dramatized
A lot of
a bunch of
fish, of
stuff.
course, of course.
Oh my God, this. Okay, first of all, the actress Cha Ju-young, amazing, brilliant, fantastic. I think she was in The Glory, and she really,
Oh wow.
wow,
Yeah.
she really
If you
carried
said
this
the glory,
drama.
the acting in that series was insane. And that's an understatement.
Yeah, I read this interview about her saying that she was kind of hesitant to star in a period drama because she wasn't sure if she was ready for that yet.
Okay.
But she really hit it out of the park. And she basically, as Queen Wonyoung, she made the king, his name is Yi Bang Won,
Yeah.
played by Lee Hyun Wook. She made him king,
So
right?
she
Because she
was
was the one.
next in the throne.
No, she was. Yeah, she was in line of the throne, but because she's a woman,
Yeah.
she couldn't, just
Yeah.
become queen. So she had to find a dude.
You
Well, a
have to
dude,
find a dude to
a
marry,
man. Anyways, they were like, they were lovers for a long time, and it was true love, la 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 la. And then turns out that he slept with one of her childhood friends, got her pregnant, and then when she was queen. Okay, so this I got so frustrated with the king because the male ego is a fragile, fragile thing,
In the
at
drama.
least for the king in
Oof.
this case. Yeah. And basically, if he had been a bit more secure in his power and his person, then half this drama could have been like 3 episodes.
I see. It could have been just a lovey-dovey about people getting together and then just ascending to the throne.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay.
But no, he did a whole bunch of things, and she basically saved his ass every couple of steps.
Every
And he
couple of
was just like,
episodes.
you have an informant dead. You have a brother exiled, and then told them to kill themselves. What?
So he had issues, to say the least.
He basically also killed his own brother.
Oh.
Like, yeah. Anyways, he had like a concubine that was her former servant, and it was just all a mess, but a brilliant watch. Like, I have so many complaints about his character, but I was in this show.
You were in criticizing him, but also eating the drama.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like,
With live
delish.
commentary and all.
Oh, live. Yeah. Anyways, this, if you like period dramas, even if you don't like period dramas, I think this is an interesting watch because the actors really did a phenomenal job. The script was interesting in every episode as well. The characters were interesting and diverse and dynamic. All round, a must watch. And I think this is going to win a lot of awards in the award
Ooh,
season to come.
exciting.
Mm.
Okay, okay. Shall we jump on to the next one?
Yes, ma'am.
So for the next one, I want to talk a drama that is actually not within my genres that I like to
Mm.
watch. So this one was a bit of a surprise for me to watch. I suppose that even for you, probably it's a surprise that I watched it. I
Yeah.
watched Study Group. Okay,
Uh,
I had my second thoughts, but I was in a point in my K drama journey where I was like, I need something different, you know.
mm,
So let's talk about a Study Group. So Study Group is an action comedy teen coming of age based on a webtoon drama
mm-hmm.
that is written, well, it's basically based on the Study Group by Shin Hyun Wook and is written by Sung Ho, Oh Byung Hyung, and directed by Lee Jang Hoon and Yu Bom Sang. So who do we have here? So we have Yoon Ga Min, played by Min Hyun. I suppose many of us know him from, oh, what was the name of the group? Uh,
Was it Astro or the other one?
no, the one that won, where Cantagnea was. I completely forgot the name right
Oh,
now.
101.
101. Yes, he was in
Mm.
101. So he, now an actor, so he was a student, is a student. He really wants to do well, but
Mm.
he cannot study well. It's just
I remember the trailer for this. Yes,
he really
sorry.
tries, but his brain is just not braining. So it's a bit
Aw,
sad.
poor thing.
So honestly, he looks like a marvelous student. The glasses, the neat appearance, all of it. He looks like innocent, like I'm a good boy. I'm going to study hard. He looks like a proper nerd, but he doesn't have the scores of a nerd. So he's actually quite bad at the studying. Okay,
Poor thing.
he wants to do well, but he completely does not have the smarts for it. However, he is extraordinarily good in fighting, and he's also quite strong. So
Mm.
he moves to school, okay? So he starts in the school. This school actually is full of bullies, and it has a kind of score system, which is absolutely insane. So, so to help improving his grades in school,
Mm.
he decides to form a study group. A study group.
Mm.
And yeah, but the study group, he really works hard to recruit these members because this school is completely owned by the bullies, and there is like these full on scale of like who is on top of the food chain, and then he's pretty much at the bottom with his study group. Okay,
Mm.
so let's talk about the members of the study group. So we start with Kim Se-hyun, played by Lee Jung-hyun. So he's the first one to be recruited, and he's heavily bullied at school. You see it. He tries to keep his profile on the low. Eventually, he does get picked out, and he starts to be heavily bullied and beaten up. Yes. So he decides to join the study group after Gamin heavily also asked him to do. He was like, please join my store group, you look smart, help me be smart. So it was actually quite funny the way that he
Mm.
just wanted him there, and then as an exchange he helps him fight his bully. Okay,
Mm.
so it's honestly, the friendship is super cute. Then we have Iwoo, played by Shin Soo-hyun. She is the twin sister of one of the class bullies. Okay, she's determined to do well,
Ah.
and she is determined not to keep the fame of her brother shadow her
Mm.
into what she
Yeah.
wants to do. And she looks quite innocent. She's quite skilled at fighting, which honestly, she looks a super petite girl. She's quite skilled at fighting. She's one of the really good fighters in the study group. Then we
Mm.
have Choi Hee-woon. He played by Yoo Sang-hyun. Total wild card. Okay, she looks innocent, soft-spoken, very girly girl.
Mhm.
But when she
Mhm.
gets worked up, she straight up swears a lot and becomes super brave for a couple of seconds. But it's
Yeah.
super funny. The switch of personalities is absolutely hilarious to watch. Okay,
Mhm. I saw a little clip of that. That
super
was
funny because
hilarious.
you don't see it when you see her. You know, she's super feminine, super
Mm.
cutesy and stuff. And then you have her swearing.
Mm.
And then last but not least, in the starter group, we have Iyun, played by Gonduyo. He literally joins the starter group when he sees Gamin fight, and he just wants to learn how to fight. And he's like, if I have to join the study group
Valid.
so you teach me how to fight, I will do so. So that's what he do. He does basically. He decides to, I'll join, you teach him how to fight, and Gamin, besides helping him to and teaching him how to fight because he was trained by this, I don't know, sort of like fight master a long time ago, so he's actually quite good. Throughout this drama, we have like several cases in each episode on a specific topic, maybe a specific person, and you see how the study group navigates, not just trying to, score well,
Mhm.
but also trying to not let the bullies keep expanding the territory because it is quite insane. There is a full mafia behind this. It's crazy.
Mm.
This drama packed with action, intense stories, incredible acting, the stunts, the fight. They looked very real. I was like, oh my goodness! But it somehow, as me as a drama watcher, mostly for the comedy rom com, I was absolutely captivated about how well this was completely directed and filmed. So if you are into it, watch it. And also, I think there's gonna be a second season, which I'm actually looking forward because the fight scenes were actually really dope. So
Wow.
let's see.
Nice.
So tell me, what do you have next?
I only have movies next, so I'm gonna pass the baton back to you.
Well, I have only one drama left, and then we can
Hmm.
move on to movies. And this one is one that comes from one of my favorite franchises, which is Hospital Playlist. Now we have Resident Playbook. So this one is a spin-off of the very popular series Hospital Playlist. I've watched the series, even if the episodes were 2 hours and a half. I watched that. Okay, it was a movie, but in reality, it was an episode with Hospital Playlist. So this one basically follows the life of first year residents at Julia Medical Center. So you have
Hmm.
the basically the work dynamics between professors, opting residents, and the friendships between them. And in mostly in each episode, you have a different medical case, and I love it. I just love how these medical dramas are done. It's kind of like one of my favorite genres, medical dramas, and this one just ticks all the boxes for me.
Is that the same hospital
It is
they're
the
in?
same hospital name, but a different location. So we have the Julje
Ah.
Medical Center, and then we have the
Hmm.
Julje Hospital. I believe is where the professors are, and we have little
Uh-huh.
cameos of the professors or maybe the residents or the different doctors that were in the previous season, which is also quite cute to watch, to be honest.
Nice.
Yes. So let's talk about the residents, which are the main characters in this drama. So let's talk about Oh Young, played by Koo Young Young. She is in debt. She has a lot of debt on her, and she wants to quit. Okay, so I think she's quitted once before because she could not cope with the pressure of being a resident at the first year. She was also kind of bullied by some of the doctors too. And yeah, but she in this one she decides to go back because she needs to pay off her debt. She tries her best, but she makes mistakes, quite a few of them, and she gets a
I
scold.
mean, she's still learning.
Yeah, but she's kind of repeating, so there is a bit of an age gap
Oh.
also between the younger residents that are fresh, and she's repeating because she left. She was like, "I'm out," and she left. So you have like these two. Yeah, but through the series, you see how she grows out of her fears. Let's start with that. She has like a lot of fear when it comes to certain medical cases, and she's an object, so she's seen quite a bit of things with like babies that has her a bit of PTSD is there. You know, she's a bit scared of committing
Mm.
like committing an error or so on. And yeah, but she grows as a doctor and also as a person during this series. I also like how laid back she is.
Cute.
She's like, okay, she just tries her best. You know.
Mm.
We have then Nam Kyung, played by Shin Shia, a fashion queen. Love her. A very talented. She's got like a very strong personality, and she's got also a devoted doctor in the sense that she really wants to do her best too, even though sometimes
Mm.
she does kind of expose. She's like, oh my god, this is so annoying, blah 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 blah. But then she sort of like goes back and says, okay, I'll do it myself, stuff like that. So she's
Mm.
super sweet in that sense. Yeah, super cute. She becomes super tough in the season, but she comes off as tough sometimes, but she's super softy to be honest.
Cute.
Yes. Then we have Jae, played by Kang Yoo Suk, former idol turned doctor in the series. Super funny. He
That is
it is,
honestly
and the funny bit
amazing.
is that the idol group he was in the drama, the other two members were TXT's Yeonjung and Subin. So there is even music
No.
videos with the three of them. It is honestly hilarious. It's like my two worlds are
Amazing.
colliding. Yeah, so he's goofy, he's charismatic. He really wants to do his best, but he makes also a lot of mistakes. So he's really tried to improve himself as a doctor. And you see him that in a couple of episodes, he literally takes basically every single night turn he could possibly take. So he can improve at getting better. I don't know, taking doing echographies or scans, doing scans, and so on.
Mm.
So he's honestly such a softie. He's super cute. Last but not least, from our residents, we have Kim Sabi, played by Ha Jae-ji. She's the brains of the group, okay? She's smart, she's ambitious, and she really wants to be the best at everything.
Mm.
And through the drama, you see how her personality kind of develops in the sense that she stops being so, I need to be the best at this because I have to. And she kind of loses a little bit, tries to give out the control that she has and becomes a bit more human, if you know what I mean. She's very up, follow the book letter by letter. And
Yeah.
she tries to become more instinctual, more like soft skills are important too, not just the technical ones. So she tries to build up on that throughout the drama. And this story, as I mentioned before from the previous ones, is all based about medical cases brought to life, and you have like these specific patients sharing issues they have. Some of them might be based on real cases, to be honest. And they just introduce these different stories. They put these characters together to solve the issues, all very human, all very sometimes raw, specifically for the up gene era they're in. All very beautifully done, and the acting is absolutely incredible.
Nice.
Yes.
Hmm.
So, shall we move on to movies?
Yes.
So, tell me.
Mm-hmm. So the first half of 2025 were pretty serious movies.
Okay.
Serious and dark.
Okay.
And or dark. Because they're, yeah, not a lot of comedies, not a lot of
Yeah.
laughter. I think that's coming for the summer months that they want to, do it then, which is fair enough. Um, but I'm also a sucker for dark movies, so
It
I have a
was
good
for
time.
you because I think I mentioned it before. I haven't seen a single movie that I would like to watch.
Yeah, they're all very like serious and
Dark.
not a lot of love
Mm.
stories. Yeah. So, without further ado, let me start with Revelations,
Okay.
which is the first movie I watched this year, and it came out in March 21st. March 21st.
Okay.
Yeah. It's based on the webcomic Revelations by Yon Sang-ho and Chae Gyu-suk,
Hmm?
and it was adapted by the two artists themselves, and it was directed by Yon Sang-ho, who is also the writer and creator of the webcomic. And Revelations is an interesting story. It's kind of one I hadn't really seen before.
Okay.
It follows the story of a priest, like a pastor.
Okay.
What's his name? His name. He's played by Ryujun Yol, which very underrated actor, by the way. He believes that he's received a divine message from God
It's a
to
chosen
punish
one.
wrongdoers. Sorry?
He's a chosen one.
Yeah, he's a chosen one. Apparently, there's like an actual term for this.
Oh, the Messiah or
But
something.
yeah, that you like if you look to the clouds and you see shapes and forms, there's like a term for that because your brain tries to find patterns and everything.
Okay. Okay.
But that pastor becomes a little bit
Crazy.
delusional, and he starts acting out on people who do wrong things, which honestly fair enough, but doesn't always
Yeah.
he doesn't always get the right person. And so we have the pastor who's who has a divine mission, and then we have the detective who's trying to catch him. And at first you can see the pastor like he keeps getting lucky,
Hmm.
which is why he believes that God is helping him in his divine mission. And the detectives are always like a step behind.
Okay.
And then, the detective is also interesting, if not a character that could have been developed a bit more, in my opinion. Her sister was murdered when they were children. She has a lot of PTSD from
Yeah.
that, and now that case or that murder that happened has ties back to the disappearance of her sister.
Okay.
So she's, has a lot of dreams and nightmares and whatnot. So it's all very much about the mental sphere in this film, which makes for an interesting watch.
Yeah.
Um, it it's a bit slow sometimes, but honestly, a good time. I wish that I don't know why it's a thing, but dark scenes, but like literally dark
Yeah,
scenes
no,
where
dark as
they
in
forgot
content,
to turn
dark
on
as
a
in you
light.
can see.
Yeah, it's like turn on a light, you know?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do know.
Yeah. Anyways, it's a, well, I was going to say it's a fun watch, but I mean, yeah, technically it's a fun
If you like
watch.
the genre, it might be fun
If
for
you
you.
like the genre, yeah.
If you're like me, nightmare for sure.
Yeah. Anyways, it's an interesting watch for sure. So go check it out. You can find it online. And yeah, I had a good time. It was nice.
Nice. Okay.
Mm.
So I actually watched one movie, which
Mm-hmm.
is it was a surprise for me. Hear me out. So let's talk about Lost in Starlight. I think if this is the first animated film I watched that was made in Korea. Okay,
Hmm.
I they're not very common. I think you know.
No, I think it was the first.
I think it was the first.
The first, yeah.
Well, it's the first time I watched, anyways.
Mm.
And then Lost in the Star, like I think there's actually a couple, but I just haven't watched it. But I think there are a
Hmm.
couple. I think I've seen here and there a few.
Mm.
As this one, it just came out of Netflix, very fresh. And what does he? It's directed by Han Ji-woon. I was going to stray into the plot, but let's talk about who directed this. And the writers were Kang Hyun-joo, also known for being a writer in the drama in the film Soulmates in 2023, and Han Ji-woon,
Ah.
who is in this film. So this is why I decided to watch it. Kim Tae-ri
Valid.
is in this film, and she is the
Very
voice
valid.
of the main character. Then we have Justin H. Min, which is a second generation Korean American actor. I have not heard
I
of him.
think he was in Weak Hero
Oh, was he?
in the first season. Yeah.
Ah, well,
Mm.
he's not on my side of the dramas. Also, I think he acts a lot in American dramas, so that's probably why I don't watch a lot of American dramas. The genre, romance, the slice of life, my genre. And this came just at the beginning of the second half of the year, so I think that we are getting at that point. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this drama is set in Seoul, in a futuristic Seoul, in the year 2050, and it centers around Nayeon, played again by Teddy. She is a young scientist and astronaut who really, really wants to go to Mars to uncover what happened to her mother. Her mother went on a mission when she was a child, and something happened in Mars. There was an accident, and she lost her mother.
Mm.
So she extremely smart woman, scientist, bilingual queen, super smart. She's working with some sort of like technologies to be able to go to Mars and so on. Incredible. Yeah, then we have Justin H. Ming. So they two meet in a funny kind of way. She meets him when she's trying to uh, fix her record player. So she has like this
Mm-hmm.
very antique record player, like LPs player,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it gets broken. And she tries to fix it, and she meets Justin. Well, Justin, he meets Jay uh, while trying to find a place. They two meet Justin again, Jay. Jay, it's they both start with Jay, and it's confusing me.
Yeah.
So Jay is a musician. He repairs all artifacts. He has a bit of like a story that he wanted to be in a band, but he's got some stage fright. So we have a full lot happening between him in him. They two develop a romantic relationship. Honestly, wholesome, so cute.
Cute.
Love the aesthetics, love the setting, love the drawings. How did you fall in love? The emotions, all of it
Mm.
is so beautiful and so romantic. I loved it so much. And they do develop a romantic relationship. They are head over heels for each other. However, Nayeon is selected to go to Mars. Yes, so Jay,
Mm.
he's not like he doesn't support her. He's scared that something will happen to her. But she's like, I'm leaving. I'm sorry. You know?
Mm.
They leave, they try to stay connected and so on. And the meanwhile, he's trying to, try to grow his fears and try to go back into being a musician and so on. So they're both facing different things. While she's in Mars, she's also trying to unveil what happened to her mother. So there is a lot of fears that need to be overcome. and things from their past that both need to, face. So we have this movie taking this sort of plot with these stunning, stunning drawings. The cartoons are so beautiful, and it felt like very, that type of. I've seen a lot of Japanese films. These ones that are sort of like healing. That is
Mm-hmm.
just these little shots, little moments, rain, ambience, sounds,
Mm-hmm.
this type of
Mm-hmm.
vibe,
Mm-hmm.
and I loved it. My thoughts on this movie: it's a kind of take on trauma. I love the animations again, and it's very soft and very calm to look at. It was such an easy and beautiful watch.
Nice.
Yes. So tell me
Lovely.
about the last movie.
Yes. All right. My next movie is Dark Nuns. Bum bum. It's about a
A
possession.
possession.
Like a child is
Okay.
possessed by a demon. And we follow two nuns as they try to unpossess.
Exercise.
Exercise? Yeah, exercise.
Unpossessed.
Unpossess. What is English? I don't know. And they try to exorcise the demon, and it follows like the same structure as a lot of
Okay.
possession films. However, uh, wait, before I say that, maybe I should mention it was directed by Kwon Hyuk Jae, and it was written by, let's see, it doesn't say. Either way, fantastic, good job, writer. But it stars Song Hye
Ooh.
Kyo, Jeon Yo Bin, Lee Jin Wook, and Moon Woo Jin, which is pretty amazing.
The cast is
I love.
insane.
I
Wow.
know, I know. Yeah. So Song Hye Kyo is one of the sisters, and she is like, it's not her first exorcism. Like, she's done this before. She knows the drill. And then sister, where's her
Michaela?
name? Uh,
Yes.
Sister Michaela. Yes, she's played by John Yovin, and she's very a bit skeptical and new, and she's also like a nurse. Like, she knows what to
Yeah.
do when a person is sick. And then you have the child Ujin, who's possessed, and this is like the first time that she's seen
Okay.
anything like this. But the interesting part about this film is that it has a lot of connections to the esoteric, not just Christianity. So you have these two nuns, who the sister Junia, who has ties with a
Okay.
shaman, which pretty rad. And then you have sister Michaela, who, despite being a skeptic, has tarot cards
Interesting.
that she was I know that she was gifted by a friend at the orphanage. And it's so cool to have these like nuns who are very Christian, but then also you have the Vatican, who tells you when you can do an exorcism or not, but then they combine that with the
The little extra.
shamanistic roots. Yeah, but it's cool. It doesn't really happen. It's
Yeah,
usually
yeah, yeah,
either or,
100%.
Um, so that was a very interesting combination. It's also set in the same universe as I think it's called The Priest,
Okay.
is it? Yeah, so it's in the same universe, and at the end you have a little cameo from the first priest from the first movie, and I think the one of the nuns is gonna join together with the priest
So
for the
it's like a
third
franchise
film.
now. Okay.
Yeah, but it's cool. Yeah.
Okay.
I have one more movie that I wanted to do a
Okay.
special mention about. It's called The Match, and it's based on the true story of two
Yeah.
Go players. And we have Lee Byung-hun as the mentor and Yoo-in as the pupil. And it was a really beautiful film. It was a bit slow, and I still have no idea how to play Go, but I thought it was a really interesting watch. Like,
It honestly it seems
you
hard, so
see,
fair enough.
I mean, it shouldn't be that hard because you have black and white stones, but they kept mentioning
What
territories, and I was
territory?
like,
Is
girl, you lost
is
me.
this
That's
chess?
what the
Okay.
hell is? Yeah, no. Anyway, so that's I think that's gonna win a lot of
Oh,
awards this
okay.
season. So stay tuned for that, and if you have a chance, definitely watch it.
Okay, and I think that with that we wrap up
Mhm.
these special episodes of What a K Drama. So these are our
Mhm.
favorite
Nice.
dramas of the first half of 2025. If you have another one, a recommendation, something we overlooked, please feel free to share it in the comments. And just we're
Mhm.
everywhere. We're at thekmail.com, and we will see you next time with another special episode of What a K Drama. Bye bye.
Bye.